What's going on YouTube? 𝒃𝒆💦🕬 here, and welcome to the next episode of Azure Gulf. So, I've done one thing since the last episode, and that is extend this road right over here and bring it out all the way down this way and turn it into an interchange. If you guys remember, last couple of episodes we unlocked this tile right over here with intent of moving some industry as well as building a forestry industry up this way and clearing out this area right here of our existing industry and turning it into an additional residential development, kind of like an extension of Rosewood Estate. So that's going to be the plan for this episode, alongside with a couple of fixes. And before we begin, we're sitting at 1.8 million in the bank, about 28,000 coming per week, so we're not doing too shabby over there. 17,000 in population. We have no demand for residential, a good demand for commercial, and an absurd demand for industry or jobs. So the couple of fixes that I wanted to take care of. One is going to be the water towers. When you guys mentioned that they omit a lot of noise pollution, which honestly is something I didn't even consider. But if we take a look at it, yes, they definitely do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of our water towers, we're going to move them to this plot of land right here, which I don't think is going to be occupied by anything else, and I think it would be a perfect place to put our water towers. So we'll take care of that. We'll take care of this whole area right here, fill it in, kind of set it and forget it, and go from there. Before we do that though, there is this earthquake sensor over here that we're using to transfer power in between the two districts over here, the two sides, and I think we're going to take care of that over here as well. I have an idea. It's going to involve a little bit of terraforming, but we're gonna give it a better power connection right here. So let's take care of that, since that's actually the only icon notification that we have regarding anything aside from the not enough educated workers right here. So I'm gonna pause the game from this because we are gonna lose connection. We're gonna get rid of the earthquake sensor here, as well as the couple of rocks that we have going on, and this big rock is gonna go as well. So the city's paid to get it removed and make the area look a little bit nicer. So my idea here is I'm going to be to move the crematorium just on the other side. So that would be right there. Perfect. And then I wanted to get a road coming down this way. And that's going to be a gravel road. So we're going to turn off the road guidelines, and we're just going to come down here and I'm going to slightly curve it to try, maybe actually if we start right here and up this way, perfect, that'll look a little bit nicer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, as unrealistic as it is, I'm going to put in I think it's a jet ski rental. So let's take a look at that real quick. That's a marina. Here's the jet ski rental right here. So we're gonna add that fella right in there. Perfect. And I mean, it's unrealistic, but it could be realistic. So you could take a jet ski, and jet skis are powered. They're not like boats. Or little fishing vessels or whatever. Jet skis can go up and down steeper grades, kind of like this. Actually, to make it a little bit more realistic, we're gonna remove that rock out of the way there, so they can have a clearer path. Now, obviously, these aren't going to actually undock from here and go, but you know, as unrealistic as it is to have it here, we'll add a little bit of realism, if you will, to allow them to travel up and down. They can also come out this way and come and go all the way around should they choose to do so. So that's that should transfer power, and it did. And I don't think we're gonna have that flooding issue anymore. Now the only thing left to do is to beautify the area a little bit. So we're gonna not what I meant to do there. I'm gonna select this height here. We're gonna go with the lowest brush. We're gonna flatten this out. There we go, and that'll give us a better body of water there. Make the river just a little bit wider. And then we're gonna smoothen some of these edges here. And I'm not loving the way this looks, so what we could do is we could bring this out just a little bit, and then use our smooth tool to smoothen it out and make it look a lot nicer. So now that looks a little bit better. Now the only thing that is missing, a little bit of foliage around the area to make it look official, right? Also, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a fence here. So something like that should work. And then what I'd like to do is add just a couple of homes here. So one here and one here, and actually we have enough room for another one right in there. So that'll work all right, I think. And then as far as here goes, we can add a little bit of these new trees that we got. So we've got several. This was in the free update, so everybody should have these trees. And I'm gonna go with a variety. Oh, and these ones right here, the live oak. I absolutely love this type of tree. I'm gonna try to sneak one. Okay, right there will work. We've got some of these, I can't even pronounce this, Pacific rhododendron, Pacific rhododendron, which are some really pretty pinkish bushes with some flowers. I think they will go really well, kind of just like so. And then we have these tall grass clusters, which is perfect, especially for an area like this where we have the bridge. I don't want to say abandoned areas, but less traveled areas, I guess. Kind of like to replace these little thingamajigs that we have right here. We could add some of these to kind of spruce up the area a little bit, and you see how it looks a lot better when you add some of those. So that's that. I think that was the last. No, that wasn't the last one. Actually, we have the wild hedge, which has a slightly more green color to it, and then the young linden. And I think that's it. That's good. But even though we've added like 9 different types of foliage here in the area, I think it still looks nice. It doesn't look out of place. So they all blend in very well together. So that's fix number 1. Let's move the water towers over here to this side. Alright, so I paused the game for this because, well, the power did transfer over here, but it didn't transfer down to our water feature. So what we're going to do here on this end is kind of like what we did over here on this side. We're going to add a couple of parks, maybe a pathway or two, and then some foliage as well, kind of complete the area there. So I think that a large playground would fit well here. Perfect. So we'll add one of those. Let's go with a small playground as well, and we can add that right in there. And I never find myself using the carousel park or the bouncy castle park. So the bouncy castle park we're gonna go with, and we're gonna slap one right in there. This is kind of a you can say an entertainment area for the neighborhood, if you will. They got some smaller shops over here, and life is just groovy, right about there. So with that, let's grab our gravel pathway. I want to see, it will almost, oh, it'll almost let us. Let's turn off all of the snapping, including angle, and we'll see. We can get pretty close. Okay, so that's good. We'll get pretty close to the key wall there. And then if you take a look here, we have a great opportunity to move the or to extend the pathway all the way out to this side. Now I'm wondering what that's going to look like if we do that. And I actually don't hate it. I think it looks really nice. Plus, we have enough room here for the jet skis to come through as well, and adding yet another obstacle in their course too. So that's good. I like that. I'm also hoping that the playground transferred power, which it did. So that's a bonus there as well. And now what we need is just maybe a couple more pathways, some foliage here, and then this area is going to be complete, and then we'll move into some of the other things that I have on my list. So something like that. I don't know if we should have a pathway coming around over here. Let's see what that would look like. I don't even necessarily think that there's a need for it, but we'll leave it there. And then what we'll do is we'll add a nature reserve fence coming just kind of around over here. And we can't do it here because it's on water. Alright, so something like that should work, but I'm noticing that we lost power, oh my god, and water. So let's see what the issue is here, because I thought we had everything connect. Oh no, we don't actually. Okay, well, fair enough. I understand. So we've got water now, but why power? What's going on with power? So let's fix the water issues there. Oh, we're actually really low on power for some reason. And we are no longer low on power. Okay, but we're kind of low on power. That's something that we should look into here in the near future as well, because we're gonna need an additional power facility. But that did seem to fix itself. So now all that we have left to do is add just a little bit of this new foliage that we got. Okay, so that actually looks pretty nice. I kind of like it. I really do. And it does look like we're getting some utilization off the pathway over here. So definitely a good choice. I mean, if it saves maybe 2 or 3 car trips a day, a week, something like that, I think we're good to go there. So cool. All right, now to tackle some of the employment issues that we are having. Let's take a look at our population. Our unemployment rate is 20% since we got rid of all of the industry that we had over here. Plus, we had the carry-on demand from one of the previous episodes as well. What we're gonna do, what I was looking at, is we're gonna come here and we're gonna split our residential over here into two. So we're gonna take off a full 4x4 there of residential, and we're gonna replace it with offices. So that'll help some of the demand. We do have some commercial demand as well. I'm just gonna add a little bit, and the rest of this stuff is going to be offices as well. And now I think we can easily extend this road or connect these two right here. Get rid of that light, put some stop signs there. Sure, why not? We can do the same thing right there as well. So that gives us a little bit more connectivity, but also an additional opportunity to add some offices. However, I am gonna want this to be, the European kind as well. So we have 5 tiles there. I don't want anything on the main road, so we're gonna have everything on the inside of the district roads. We're gonna do just that right there. And I'm sure we have water. We have plenty of water coverage there. I think for the time being we're gonna be good. So our demand for jobs did go down significantly. The commercial demand is still there, but we'll let that linger for a little bit longer. And then while we're here, I did get a pretty good name suggestion for the district here, so we're gonna take care of that as well. All right, and that district name is River Bend Palms. Now, we don't really have any palms here in this district just yet, so we're gonna have to take care of that. But maybe a little bit later. I am noticing some of these garbage icons pop up as well, so I'm curious. We're good on garbage. We are good. They might just be having a hard time collecting garbage from this area since they're traveling all the way from here. But once we actually let's go ahead and take care of it now. We're going to add a couple of garbage collection facilities over here as well. So this is going to involve some terraforming over here. What I'll do is I will bring the height of the ground up to the highway, and then we're going to flatten out the land just like so. So let's see, that should be good enough. Then we're going to select our height right there, and then we're going to flatten a good chunk right over here, just so we have somewhere to kind of situate our road connection here. Now, what I would like to do is do a little bit of a zigzag. So instead of going straight up with the road, I don't think is necessarily realistic. I'd like to come up this way and then zag up this way. So like a little zigzag. So I'm going to pause it for this. The game tends to like it more, like terraforming more when it's paused. So we're going to select our height over here. We're going to go straight down to here, and let's drag a slope. Okay, so then what we're going to do is another exactly the same. So from here up this way. Perfect, and that should be good. Now all we have to do is draw our roads in. Before I draw the road here, I will work on a connection here for us. Okay, and I don't think that that looks all that terrible, so we'll leave it. And I think we positioned ourselves pretty well to just go straight up the hill up this way. Let's grab our industry road and we'll make our zigzag. Alright, so I think that's about as pretty as I can get it. Maybe a little bit of fine-tuning over here on this curve in between episodes, but I think that looks good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our terraforming tool, and we're gonna try to make this a nice slope. So if we select our highest height up here and go straight down, and say we start somewhere right here, and just drag all the way up, we can make a really nice slope without having a bunch of these bulges sticking out, kind of like this one right here. All right, so that to me looks a lot better. I like that. So let's get a district going over here for our forestry industry. Okay, so something like that should work. And then what I'm gonna do, but I won't connect it, is I'm gonna try something like this. Yeah, but we won't connect it just yet. We'll leave this not connected up this way. So since we have a little bit of a more of a flat terrain right here, this is kind of where I would like to place the main forestry building, and that is going to be right there. So we unlock the sawmill, the small tree plantation, and the small log yard. Now we do have some pretty bad land intrusion going on over here. We can easily fix that with some trees. So without having to terraform and kind of go that approach, what we can do is we can use some of these native trees. There we go, and that looks fairly well to me. We'll add a couple more just on the outskirts over here, and we should be good. Now the other thing that I was looking at when I was putting down the district is this area could use a little bit more trees. So you see how we have kind of like blank areas here and here, and it's not quite the darkish green that I would prefer it to be. So what we're gonna do is we're going to select our large brush and go on the highest strength, and we're just going to add a bunch of these trees. Now we're going to mix them up a little bit with the other kind of tree that is native to this land, and I think there was only the two kinds. Perfect. So now if we go in here, this is really nice and dark and green, so that means that we have really good forestry land there. Next up, we are going to add a bunch of small tree plantations. So I like those. I'm not going to add them on the main road. I'm just going to place one right here, and then we're going to run a road across from there. Actually, that is not, that's more better, but we'll get our guidelines back on it. We'll come all the way down this way. I'm not going to be shy with the small tree plantations. And what I like about building these as well as farms is that when you have, there we go, when you have uneven land like this, especially these small ones, and you place these down, they cover it. So good, no harm, no foul, and it saves you some of that headache of having to terraform. So it looks like we might, yeah, we're out of room there, but that's good. So you see, And our whole hill here is gonna be just like this. And we're gonna have a bunch of the tree plantations and the sapling fields, and hopefully we're gonna bring in lots of jobs for our Sims. So let's see, what else do we have? We've got the sawmill. So this is going to take the raw material, which is the trees, and process it into planed timber. And then we have a warehouse that is going to just store additional trees. So I mentioned that I wanted to have any kind of processing buildings kind of hang out down below. So somewhere out in this area. I left a good chunk of land for us to play with, but this too is going to involve some pretty heavy terraforming. So I think that we should do that before we start placing down the buildings. Alright, so we kind of have this figured out over here. Now, before we put in the forestry buildings, I thought that this right here, this little piece of land, would be a perfect area to put in our new power facility, so we can take care of that. And I think we have the solar updraft tower unlocked, and I feel like we can easily put in 2 and have room for expansion down the road. So I'm gonna do just a little bit more terraforming to get the area prepped for it, and I'll try. That actually worked out much better than I thought. So we'll do something like that. Didn't go as well as planned, but hey, that's okay. No problem. Now these power facilities generate virtually no traffic, so it's 100% okay to put those on the main road there. So we'll add that one there. Hopefully the land here, I don't love it. I can't say that I do, but we'll keep it. We'll keep it. We'll beautify it. Actually, you know what? I did this in my own personal game that I have going on, and it worked out well. Except no, here it's gonna look way worse, and we can't get too close right in there. So what if we try one more time and do something like this? See, it doesn't look all that great, but for now it's good. That means that we can come over here and get rid of those facilities, and then take a look. So that's connected right there. We're good. And then a temporary power line, I think, coming across. And it doesn't have to be very pretty. Here we'll make it pretty. So we'll come and we'll go along the road if it'll let me get there. Like that, and we'll cross right here. So that should be all right. And then hook up right there, and that should actually do it. Let's see. I think we might be way overproducing. Yeah, we're overproducing nearly by double. So I wonder If we turn one off, we're right there on the edge. So what we'll do is, instead of turning it off, we'll go into our economy, budget, power. We'll lower it, let's say, to 80%, and we'll see where we're at there. Okay, so we're good. Now we'll just need to remember that once we're short on power, that we need to just increase our budget. And I see we have some abandoned buildings there. Clean that up. All right, cool. So let's get back to our forestry industry. We've got, I want to say, I don't want to say, let's count. So a total of 10 of the small tree plantations. We need to put in a couple of the buildings. So we're gonna have the sawmill somewhere over here in the area, and that makes me want to extend that district all the way down so we cover the whole thing. So we have 10 tree plantations. We're gonna need a couple of sawmills. So what I'd like to do is come and start kind of at the end up and work our way down to beginning of the road right here. So let's see if we can place that sawmill. And we can't. It's a little too close to the above road. So that's 100% okay. Let's come over here. We'll give ourselves maybe a little bit of extra room too, and we'll start. That's a little too much extra room. All right, so that'll be okay. So let's come and we'll try that one more time. Perfect. So we'll put in 3 of them to start, and then we'll also add a couple of the small log yards so we can store some of the product that's needed for this. That should be fine. As far as water goes, yep, gonna need some of that. Okay, and power, did power transfer? I'm really curious. It did. Perfect. All right, so for right now, we're good to go. Because we have so many tree plantations, I think that we're going to level up to level 2 in, you can say, no time. To help that, we're going to get a couple of policies in here. So we're going to improve logistics, and we're going to go with advanced automation right off the bat. And you can see where it says level 1, we're already almost, or more than halfway through to get to level 2. So like I said, this shouldn't take too long, but I like the way it looks. I think we have a good start towards something. We have some additional room right here to play with, so we can add more industry and get rid of this industry right over here. But I think that we'll kind of not do it all at once, I should say, because I don't want everything building at the same time and demand. I want to kind of taper it a little bit and have it work a little bit better for us. So that's that, and I think it's also been a while since we've looked at Azure Peninsula Institute. And look at that, we're one student away from being where we need to be, and we have no demand for residential. And we forgot to give an academic work grant, so we'll do that now. This is actually going to level up here in the next couple of days. And here we are. So we did not get our next level, so we are still at recognized, but we did get our academic work, so we now have all 4. The only thing we're missing is additional students. So we'll work on that, no problem. Before we forget again, let's come over here in academic works. We'll issue another grant for IT and engineering, and we'll leave that be. So we have some time before we need to come back and revisit that. Now this will come up to level 2, like I said, here shortly. We've got power moved. What I would like to try and do potentially is start moving, or not moving. Oh, here we go, industry area leveled up. So we got the biomass power plant, we got the furniture factory, sawdust storage, forestry workers barracks, and the small tree sapling field. As I was saying, I'd like to start moving some of the dirtier things out of this area, such as the inland water treatment plant. As far as the options go, the optimal placement for that, I think, would be somewhere right over here. And the option that we have to use is the Eco Inland Water Treatment Plant, or the Eco Advanced Inland Water Treatment Plant, which actually unlocks in 10,000 population. So, you know, I think we'll hang out for a little bit and kind of let this area settle a little bit more before we start building anything else. But let's add some of those additional buildings that we just unlocked. So that was the biomass pallet plant. I think that was something that we could definitely use. So this takes trees and produces paper, while our current one produces plain timber. So we'll have one of each, and I think, look at that, a perfect fit right there. This is going to produce 32 tons per week, and I think each one of these produces 32 tons as well. 36 tons per week. So we have way more plain timber production than we do of paper, and we'll leave it as so. And I saw another building that's going to look cool when filled up. So this is the sawdust storage, and we'll put that right there, and you'll see when it fills up, in case you don't have the deal. See, there you go. In case you don't have the Industries DLC, it's kind of cool to see the sawdust storage there. And we're doing all right. I bet you that we're almost halfway through and we just leveled up. Look at that. Almost halfway through. We're not making too much money right now. We're actually losing some, but that will fix itself here in just a moment. We just have a lot of buildings that have upkeep here, so it's not balancing itself out just yet, but it will here in a moment. All right, so as we wait for the forestry industry to level up, I want to do a little bit of work over here and try to finish up this area so we can move on down this way. Now, I don't necessarily like the way this terrain is right here. It looks a little bit not complete. So we'll do a little bit of terraforming, turn this area into something more eye appealing, and we'll see what we can do here. Now, I am expecting a little bit of flooding here, which is totally normal since we are messing with water. Alright, so that looks good. We still have a little bit of flooding right there, but I think this could easily be like a little hangout area. We'll put some shops since we have the demand for commercial. However, I'm missing a couple of squares here. I think we can easily fix that by upgrading the road to, say, this one with trees, and there we go. We got our zonable squares back there. And we'll add a little bit of commercial. And I'm kind of curious if we ran a road down below here. And we went with a gravel road, kind of like what we did over on the other side. So just something. Okay, so something like that maybe. And then if we were to place a couple more of the jet ski rentals and a marina, maybe even a pier or a restaurant pier, I wonder if that would look decent here. So a restaurant pier, maybe right about there. That'll work. And then a jet ski rental. I think this might still be a little too high. It's actually not bad. I don't hate it. And then we'll put we can put some fishing tours here as well. And a marina. There we go. So hold on, this is the restaurant pier. Is this a fishing? Yeah, it's a fishing pier. We'll get rid of the fishing pier and we'll put a restaurant pier here. Yeah, I like that. I like that a little bit more. Now we just got to get some water over here. There we go, and that works for me. And then additionally, we could add a few more smaller shops out in this way. And there we go. Our forestry industry has leveled up yet again. So we'll go and take a look at that in just a moment. And then here we can add, actually it might be a little too loud next to residential to add a high density commercial. So we'll do something like that. And obviously we'll need a little bit of beautifying there as well. So forestry industry leveled up to level 3. I should have taken a look at the buildings that were unlocked. But let's see. So we have a large log yard. We've got the workers barracks we unlocked. So those we could, I wonder if, no, we're not going to be able to put 2 of them here. I highly doubt it. But 1 works. Yeah, the second one's not going to work. But one is okay for the time being. So we have that. We've also unlocked the medium tree plantation. So I wonder if that'll. So that's not going to fit on the hill here. It says the slope is too steep. But we could definitely get a couple of the tree sapling yards. So we'll get. The slope is too steep for this one too. What about the small tree plantation? It is over here as well. Okay, so I guess it works on some and not on others, just like the rest of them. I wonder if we smooth the area a little bit, or maybe even just go with the smaller brush and just take it in a tiny bit. I wonder if it'll work then. So that will work perfect. What about the sapling? So for the sapling field, it's too steep, but for the regular tree yard, it's not. Interesting. Very interesting. So we'll leave it as so. We'll add 1 more over here, and we're getting a ton of production out of here. I bet you that we're exporting a lot more than we're actually utilizing in our industry, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, down the road when we get additional when we get much busier, we're gonna need a cargo train terminal, and I'm wondering where it would be a good place to place it. I think we have a little bit of room right here to where we could easily connect to it. But I think we'll leave that for a different episode. Let's say maybe the next episode. What I'd like to do now is do a little bit more of detailing over here in this area, at least all the way until the railroad track. So kind of clean that up a little bit, and just be done with this corner right here. Alright guys, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. I think it turned out really nice. We did satisfy some of that employment demand. I am curious to see. Yep, we were at 20% when we started. Now we are at 14%, which is a significant decrease in unemployment since we started. Now, before we end the episode, there is one thing that's been really bugging me, and that's these high-rise towers right over here. I am gonna do something that I think is gonna have a negative effect. Yep, negative effect on all of these buildings right over here. So for this district right here, I'm gonna turn on the high-rise ban policy. That's going to get rid of all of these, and it's going to turn them into smaller buildings. But I think that's the look that I want and prefer, as opposed to these large buildings popping up right here. So that's going to affect this whole district right here. I think maybe even some of these buildings right here. And if we put it on 3 speed, you can see that some of them are going to start disappearing. There we go. But they will come back at a lower stance, if you will. One more thing, let's check on our university. We've got the students, we've got the works, we've got the attractiveness. So as long as we keep that up, in the next episode, we're gonna have Azure Peninsula Institute at level 3. Now, I did complete all of the detailing over here, kind of as far as I wanted to get to. Left some open space over here, public land, so people can come down here and enjoy it. And one more thing, actually, since we are here, is I think that a pathway might be nice, connecting these two areas. So, like that. Perfect. Alright guys, so as always, be the best that you can be in everything that you do, and I will see you guys on the next one.